Hello, my name is Peter Carey, and I decided to do my Analyzing Mass Media and Pop Culture presentation on the Hot Rod magazine. Now, the Hot Rod magazine was first launched in 1948 by legendary publisher Robert Peterson. Hot Rod is and always has been the most important and also widely read and furthest reaching publication in the history of performance automotive media. With digital, print, video, licensing, event, and database audiences combined, Hot Rod now commands the largest audience of its 67-year-old history. And to this day, it continues to expand. The age target for these magazines is between the ages of 18 and 54 years. The average reader of this magazine is of 42 years old. And of those readers, about 87.5% are male. Hot Rod has currently a circulation of 656,000 copies that are sold every single month. As we can see on the cover of this magazine is the Grasshopper, which is a 1930 Model A coupe. It's a 1930 Model A frame manufactured by Ford, and it's currently owned by Jordan Quinta, who is also the owner of Super Rides. This particular car, the Grasshopper, took him 3 years to build. And it's cars like this, like the advertisements in these magazines are all car related, from wax polish to clothing, and also there is a lot of information on car meets and car clubs. However, the majority, if not all, of the advertisements are actually car parts, such as tires, electronic parts, oil, performance kits, and etc. Now, moving on to the first term, impression management, or what is referred to the effort to control the impressions we make on others so that they form a desired view of us and the situation, the use of self-presentation and performance tactics. Now, from these advertisements, that in all of the photos here to the right, the central focus is the way the car looks. Also, it is implied that the better the car looks, the better it will perform. Or in other words, if you have the cleanest and meanest hot rod, you will have a vehicle that will perform at. So the three main impressions are performance, look, and what you have under the hood. Moving on to our second term, values or ideas about what is desirable or contemptible and right or wrong in any particular group. They articulate the essence of everything that a culture group shares and honors. We have the focus of performance in all of these ads. We have roadkill, which is pretty much emphasizing here the Dodge brand, and that you will decimate any other vehicle that comes your way in a street race. You also have here this fast technology, insinuating that if you have this technology, you will be faster in the road. So you have these advertisements that imply that if you upgrade to these particular brands, your vehicle will go faster and eventually they will finish and hopefully win the race. Now let's take a quick look to our third term that we have here, region, or which is defined as the dramaturgical perspective, the context or setting in which the performance takes place. Now, for this particular region, we have street outlaws. It's emphasized in most of the advertisements that have some type of mentioning of the street outlaws in the captions. Now, Street Outlaws is a Discovery Channel show. They are located in the Midwest, and they pretty much in the show they race the best and the fastest cars in the nation. Now, the main thing about this particular magazine is racing. Hot rods pretty much insinuate that you are going to race your car, and it's that adrenaline rush. It's mentioned in many of the excerpts when the acceleration press. Most of the cars depicted in the advertisements are either burning rubber or they are shown in a very sleek and very clean way. As we can see here, race-proven street-ready disc pads or disc brakes, they're pretty much showing you or placing you in a place where they want to make you feel like you want to go to the street. Now, there's two types of readers, those that race in the streets and those that race in a track. So this magazine pretty much appeals to both. Appeals to those that want to race on the streets and those who want to also just have the car race in a track. Whatever the case may be, most of these ads convey the idea that your vehicle should be tested in the streets. Most of them emphasize performance. Moving on, we also have ideal culture, or the norms, values, and patterns of behavior that member of a society believes should be observed in principle. The main norms for this particular magazine is that of a manly man, so to speak. Somebody that, is tough. Somebody that may have an attitude, have tattoos, have some type of facial hair, and also by having of a manliness, you will also achieve the ultimate goal, which is of having a beautiful, young, good-looking girl. Emphasize that if you have a hot rod, or they're trying to insinuate the fact that if you have a hot rod, you will eventually get the girl of your dream. Next, we have the mature culture, or the objects associated with the culture group, such as tools, machines, utensils, buildings, and artwork. Any physical object to which we give social meaning. Now, going back to the TV show Discovery Channel Outlaws is depicted in this picture right here on the right with a bend pack lift. Those two gentlemen are the ones that own the top two fastest car in the show, and they are showing off that they actually use those lifts. That is pretty much them, selling those tools. An advertisement for Dickies. And pretty much if you want to have some type of clothes that are tough, that they look good, and that they are comfortable, you should wear Dickies. And there are many brands of clothing in this magazine that they're just pretty much from caps to racing gear to racing helmets. All that stuff can be found in this magazine, and it all comes down to performance. If you wear a certain brand, you actually may look cooler, you may look better, and you will ultimately, or it may ultimately. And that concludes my presentation on analyzing mass media and pop culture with using the magazine Hot Rod, and I hope you all enjoy it.